Hey everyone, we're here today live and we're going to wing it today. We're just going to wing it. Not much going on here. No. We have a lot of good stuff.
Not much going on.
First, Nick has to have the floor because he has his announcement.
Those announcements or contest announcements?
Oh, I thought you wanted to get your contest announcements out of the way, or do you want to help with these announcements?
No.
Okay.
So it was last week, if y'all remember, 3 songs that describe yourself. I had numerous entries. Thank you for all that. That was awesome. The winner of the...
He's still trying to get me to name my 3.
I have your 3 songs, but I can't say them on the show. The Pound of Chocolate. The winner, which send it to Heidi.
Sure.
Send your information to Heidi.
You're guy. Why
Send it to Heidi.
Nick B at Primitive Gatherings.
Oh yeah.
You
Send it.
it.
There you go. Send your information to me, and I'll make sure you get the caramels. The winner of the My 3 Song Challenge is Sherry Webb. Sherry Webb.
Yay,
Go
Sherry.
Sherry. Go Sherry.
And her 3 songs were Stronger by Kelly Clarkson, Try Everything by Shakira, which is a really good tune, and The Climb by Miley Cyrus. Now,
she didn't pick your favorite Swiftie.
The reason why I chose this is because of the words in The Climb, and I'm going to read them to you. Just some of them.
Okay.
There's always going to be another mountain. I'm always going to want to make it move. Always going to be an uphill battle. Sometimes I'm going to have to lose. Ain't about how fast I get there. Ain't about what's waiting on the other side. It's the climb. That's everybody.
Yeah.
No matter what you're doing, working or
no matter.
We have a neighbor who is battling some cancer. So she's got a climb for her, and we're gonna help her with that. We get the bands on for her, black and pink. I do like these colors.
Pink's
you know, they say guys aren't supposed to wear pink, but I like to wear pink.
I took mine off today when I was in the shower.
Yeah. So Pam, if you're out there, if you're watching this, hey, we're thinking about you.
Yes.
And that's all
Prayers
I got.
for Pam.
Prayers for Pam.
Prayers for Pam.
Sherry Webb.
Pam and Shelly.
And Shelly, yes. We can't forget about Shelly.
Yeah.
She was on last week too.
Yeah. She looks like she's doing good.
But she looked pretty darn
Yeah.
good.
I was surprised that
She said, "At least I don't look sick." I said, "You're right. You don't."
she doesn't look sick. No.
I didn't think
No.
she did it.
I mean,
all.
if she didn't have to have the do-rag on, you wouldn't know.
She rocks it though. I thought.
Yeah,
Well,
she
maybe
does
she
rock
was
it.
channeling her inner Brett Michaels.
Oh.
Yeah.
I can rock a bandana. I haven't worn much this
Prove it.
year. Prove it?
Yeah. Next time.
Okay.
Do you want my new hat that I got?
Bernina gave us bandanas at BU this year.
You want that new hat that lady gave me yesterday, right?
No, I don't want. You got it?
It's downstairs.
You should come back and model it.
I am not putting that thing on. That's only for Packer games.
Next
It's
week.
a cheesehead cowboy hat.
Sombrero.
Sombrero.
It's not a cowboy hat. That's a sombrero.
Hooray!
Is that?
All right, I gotta go. Things to do. So Sherry Webb, congratulations. We'll say it one more time.
Hey,
So
you're
send
gonna
me-
love those caramels. That's what I eat for dessert almost every day. I'm
Yeah,
here.
and I did not open the bag.
After
Otherwise,
lunch.
I would have
Did
taken
you give her the
some.
salted ones or the regular ones?
I don't know what these are. I do know that I picked up 35 boxes of them today.
I was wondering that. I was wondering, like, how
35.
do we make sure we go through those all before we open the new ones?
So we have an annual, or maybe month, we have a standing order.
Yeah.
This past month, I
Cut it down.
cut it down, so we used all of them, and
Okay,
Yeah.
good job. Good job. She said we have a standing order with Vanderwall's candies, and she had to just cut it down a little bit because we had some leftovers. I'm surprised we have any leftovers because if I worked here like these girls do, Dan, I'd be eating one. I'd be eating one every hour. It'd be a bad thing because it's not like they're under lock and key. They're like right there. They would just be calling my name all day long. I'd have to go and visit.
I have a box by me.
I know.
A full box.
Do you eat them?
Yeah.
Look at that.
I also picked up a jar of snickerdoodle cookies today.
Oh, yeah.
I hid them though.
You went to Sam's Club.
No, it was at Vanderwall's.
Oh.
Yeah.
Did you buy me a half price pie?
No, I didn't buy you
He
a half
ate.
price pie.
He ate that $10 pumpkin pie I bought him in 2 days.
It was more like a day and a half. Half and a half.
It was good though, I bet, huh? I wouldn't know. He didn't save me a piece or a slice or anything.
Get your own damn.
Was it as good as ours when we make them?
Huh?
Was it as good as ours when we make them on
No.
Thanksgiving?
No.
I know they never are they?
No. But
Your mother-in-law does know how to make pie, doesn't she?
yes.
Yes, she does.
All
All right, go to work.
All right, I'm out. Bye, everybody.
We have a couple fun things today, hopefully. You might learn a few things today that aren't on our previously scheduled programming. We have a couple surprise guests. All right, announcements quick. Featherweight Club. Pop that baby up there. October 30th. Wear your witchy hats or your costume or your pumpkin shirt or whatever it is, something Halloween for or fall or whatever. And October 30th is Bernina Social as well. So the old and the new machines coming together. That's cool. October 18th, Cross Stitch Club. Again, celebrate October, wear something fun. October 22nd, we're getting closer to my birthday. Rug Hooking Club. October 25th, Wool Club. Jessica, are you doing that one? Okay. And then we have 2 spots open in our Bernina class. I shouldn't call it Bernina class. It's called, we're going to make this cute little mini pumpkin quilt. So if you're local and want to come and learn how to piece, blanket stitch, do some crazy stitches, and then layer and quilt it all on the embroidery module of the Bernina, come and learn that because I'll be there too because I want to learn everything there is about my new 790 Pro. You don't have to bring your machine. They're all going to be supplied for you there as well. And then that is the 9th and 10th of October, as you can see. Class is only $100 for 2 days, and it includes lunch. It's a steal. I can't wear this shirt anymore. Look at how chubby I look in it. All right, and then the 11th and 12th, 1 spot left in this class where you are going to, this is on the long arm. So if you ever thought that maybe you want to know what it's like to quilt quilts on the long arms, we are going to quilt this quilt. And then Robin is going to show you how to do all this work on with yarn and stitching those snowflakes on. I know you haven't seen this close up, but I think I had it on a couple weeks ago about that. So call the gathering and sign up. We just have a few little spots left in there. Snag that if you can. Last minute is always best for a lot of people because they know what they're not doing anything. So all right. Ooh, I've been waiting for this. Somebody just asked me about a beginning quilting. Bernina beginning. All right. Quilting for beginners. You have that one, Kaylee? All right. So quilting for beginners. So Miss Sherry downstairs, our awesome quilter, is going to do a beginning class, and it is October 31st, November 7th, and November 21st. 5 o'clock till 8 o'clock. So 3 times. And then the class fee is $105 plus supplies, meaning you're gonna need some supplies like pins and all the things that she tells you for beginning quilting. The fee includes your kit, which is this runner here, and it's using, you have 2 choices. One that uses my Joyful Gatherings fabrics, and the other one is Blizzard from Sweetwater. Yeah, I'm staring at it right now. I should probably have it in my hands, but it's up there on the wall because Kaylee was taking pictures of it. So if you know somebody who wants to learn how to quilt, or maybe you never took a class before and you're self-taught, these are the classes to come to because they will teach you things that you didn't know and make your life a lot easier when it comes to quilting. And it's not a big project. So you'll get it done in time for Christmas. I'm pretty sure of that. All right, then we have day students only for naughty and nice. So this is my week-long,
2 weeks long.
week-long that's done twice. So December 4th through the 10th, and then December 11th through the 17th. We have lodging is full. We don't have any room for that, but we have room for day students. If you're local and want to come hang out 10 to 4:30 every day and hang out and do all kinds of things, projects, field trip, lunch, tour if you're staying here, swag bag, all that kind of stuff if you're staying here. But lots of fun. All right. And then what is that?
That is just to announce that you were going to be doing.
Oh, yeah. You got it? Okay. Okay.
That's
Is there a name on it?
I don't think so.
I don't think we named it yet. All right. Is it on the website?
No, not yet.
Okay. So this right here was part of my all things pumpkin class, and so many
Hello.
so many people wanted us to run this again. So we have set up a class for November 7th from 9 to 4. The cost is $125, and it includes that kit and lunch. All right, and we will make that right there, and we'll get that on the website as soon as we're ready to for people, because we have done when I taught it for in September. That's September, right? Yeah.
Actually, it's called peak season.
Peak season. I knew we named it. I forgot. All right, peak season. All right, so it's all ready to go now. So we can teach it and send it out if you want one sent to you. It is not $125 for the kit though. I think it's like around 84, 85, something like that. And then we have enough fabric in there that you can make a pillow out of it, or you can use the leftover fabric for something else if you're going to frame it. So we just gave you that option. I think there's like 1.5 yards of background fabric in there that you can use however you like. Okay. All right. I want to get to my guests, but let's just plow through some of these other things. So don't forget that today we release block number 10 or block number 8. I'm sorry. Block number
10.
Block number 10.
10 is good. It's 10.
Oh, I just grabbed the wrong
Yeah, you
picture.
got it wrong. Yeah.
I thought, okay, yeah. Block 10 for our Joyful Gathering Quilt Along. It is super fun. I love seeing all of your posts on Stitch with Lisa Bongean. I love seeing all the trees lined up. They're so awesome. And just reminds me, we're already on block 10, so I better get mine put together, don't you think? Yeah, so I'll be ready to go when it's time to release the Lexa. So we got 15 more blocks, but we all know that's only going to be 7 more weeks. That's going to go fast. So I'm trying to get the Dear Santa things done. You might see if you follow me on Instagram or Facebook, I'm kind of just showing you little peeks of what I'm working on, because I like to show you what I'm working on as well. Then yesterday was Moda Blockhead Day. Are you staying caught up with those? So what I did on my post yesterday was I had planned this block out, and then I didn't like it. Right? I had it all cut out. I looked at it, laid out it on my thing, and I'm like, there's too much yellow. It was just like screaming yellow. So I just took out some of those yellow squares, and then this is what I ended up with, which I like much better when you look at the other squares in comparison. So that's why I want you to know that it's okay to change your mind. Even after you cut the things out, you don't have to sew them just because you decided on that. If it doesn't really look good once it's on your design board, by all means, change it. Okay. Nothing wrong with that.
Are you going to change that first block now?
You know what this is? This is a label block, right? I think I'm just going to put it on the back, right? Because if you didn't figure this out, I decided all my backgrounds are going to be this silver color. And then I've also added American blue, which is like a navy, to each block too. Heidi has a really good post out there on Wednesday explaining all of this for you as well. All right. But no, I'm not going to remake it. I'm kind of stubborn that way. Once I make something, it's done. So it'll be on the back, and it'll be just lovely like that. And then the other quilt along, look at my bag here of stars. I love seeing them all on your design wall. That's awesome. There are 2 missing out of here. They're downstairs in the shop to let people know. So our blocks this week were these 2. which is number 100 and number 12. Aren't they beauties? So those of you who are keeping up and posting, we have picked the winner for last week, and that is Kathy Kurtz. Kathy Kurtz Spanis. You are the winner of this week's Twilight Gathering. Twilight Gathering. Twilight Stars. Why do I want to call it Twilight Gathering now? What's Twilight Gathering?
Twilight Gap.
We used to have a lot of things with the word Twilight and a lot of things
Yeah.
with the word Gathering. Now it's
The wool one.
Yeah. Okay.
so here's
all
your
the
gatherings.
Yeah. Twilight Stars. There it is.
Woo.
Look at her fun little spider web. So cute. So cute. So cute. We love it when you take the time to do some staging. It's
I think
awesome.
we need to get dog treats.
Dog treats.
I thought about that because these.
Oh, when they
animal
post their
models,
critters.
Yeah.
It's gonna be the primitive gathering.
So you'll get the caramels and then you'll get the doggy
Little dog
bones.
treat in there. And I had some, but I was like, I don't know how old those are. So I want some.
Okay, so Kathy Spanos, week 16 winner. Heidi, make sure you grab that, right? Or don't you need it?
Oh yeah, I need it.
Okay.
You could tear it up into 1,000 pieces and put it in Jess's garbage can if you want. I'll find it there and take it back together later. It'll be
She
fine.
sent me a picture the other day.
This is a little teaser. All right. So Fat Quarter Shop, Miss Kimberly has sent me her spooky box. I can reveal what's in here on October 12th. But you might want to get over there and order one if you want. If you love Halloween, I see the tape's still on it. I have not opened it. I have no idea what's in it. We'll open it live and see what's in there. But you know, as soon as they're open, they're going to be gone. So you might want to get your butt over to the Fat Quarter Shop and get yourself a spooky box. Okay. Ready? Are we
I have
ready?
a question.
Yes.
A lady wants to know if we sell design boards, and I said no. We make them. We homemade them. So how do we make our design board?
Oh, are you sure they're not talking about those little ones that I use?
I don't know.
Okay. You want to grab one and we'll make sure.
Lisa, look what we got.
What's that?
Look what we got.
That's the screen.
Ooh, woo! Thank you, Beth. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Camera fun, camera fun. Oh, we appreciate that. Camera fun donation. All right. So I can't take it anymore. I want them to join in on the program here. So we have some lovely ladies staying at the gathering this week, and they are from California. I met Tracy in California, and
Delana.
Delana. I was going to say Deleska, and I knew that was not right. But Deleska is one of Joyce's friends, and that's what I had about Delana. Sorry.
That's okay.
That's what happens when the camera's on, you know?
Yeah, you
Right?
get a little nervous. I
I
can
know.
feel
Also,
it.
a little butterfly, right?
Kind of scared.
Yeah,
you
Delana.
know?
Delana.
Just a couple thousand
Delana.
people.
Now I won't
Okay.
forget. I was going to say Deleska. All right. So these lovely ladies I've spent lots of time with in California when we had the shop there in California. But this is Tracy, Delana, and you're not from California anymore, are you?
No, I'm not.
You're
I
not.
moved, and first thing, I'm doing a quick shout out to all the quilt stores that I have met and seen and connected to Lisa through.
Oh.
The Orange Quilt Bee
Mm-hmm.
in Orange, California. In my new store, I moved to Oklahoma, Sooner Quilts.
Oh, Sooner, like
Sooner
Oklahoma
Quilts.
Sooners.
I got a new
Oh,
name.
you got a
I'm
new name.
Sooner Tracy now.
Sooner Tracy. She's moved to Oklahoma.
I have. Yes.
You have fled the California state.
Yes. So if anybody on I-35, swing by Sooner Quilts and see some of Lisa's goods there.
Yeah.
But I've known you a long time.
A long time.
And I realize that very few people really know your whole story. And
Mhm.
aren't we celebrating some anniversary or
Yes.
something?
So if you haven't figured it out, we haven't really talked about it, but we at Primitive Gatherings, this is our 20th anniversary. I have decided that October is our 20th anniversary month because this is when I decided that we are going to open a quilt shop. And behind me, I know this is driving you nuts, right? Did we get any comments about this quilt in the background here yet? All right. So this is our special 20th anniversary quilt that we are going to roll out next week. I have picked the fabrics, and Alicia has made it for us. Alicia from California. Hey, Alicia. So she's made this beauty, but I want to give you a little bit of background about it. So this, can you go really close, Kaylee, or not?
I just had a close up.
Okay. Well, there are 213 cream colored stars in this quilt, and they are from my collection as a shop owner, because when I started the shop, I would take a half yard of all the fabrics that came in the store. And to tell you the truth, I have not used many of them at all. Hey, Matt. Thank you for the $10. That's awesome. But so this quilt is 213 of those fabrics that I had. So I only have a half yard. So we were only able to make 21 kits. So we're going to think of a real fun way to be able to sell 21 kits. We will be able to sell background, and maybe we're going to come up with a way to sell some partial starter packs, because maybe in your collection or your stash or whatever you call it, you have a lot of these shirtings and little small cream prints that you can add to. So maybe we'll do a starter pack, or we'll come up with that, but that will be next week's project. But I just wanted to tease you all with this beautiful, beautiful quilt here that we have in this beautiful navy background. It's so beautiful. So beautiful.
It is.
Okay.
All right. So back to the 20th anniversary concept.
Yes.
I don't think a lot of people really know your story, Lisa.
Okay.
And it is fascinating.
Mhm.
I've been a long
See, I don't think it's as fascinating
it
as what
is.
you guys think it is.
It is, because what people don't know is all the things you've overcome to be here.
Mhm.
How it took so much bravado and guts to do what you've done. So Delene and I were talking about it, and we've got a couple questions. We thought we'd do kind of a Q&A.
Okay.
Let you tell the story that
All
we
right.
think is so interesting, and see if anybody agrees.
Right. And if you have any other questions for me, shoot them out
Send
there,
them
and
out
the girls will give me
We'd
those
love
too.
it. Yes.
All right.
Okay. First question is, how did you become a quilter?
Oh, that's a good one. I think I've told this one to this group, but I was at the YMCA, and I was at swimming lessons with the boys, and there was this nice lady off, in the kind of, I don't want to say in the corner, but off the side, and she was hand quilting a baby quilt. And I go up to her and I'm like, whoa, how do you know how to cut it all apart and put it all back together? Because I don't think I ever, a patchwork quilt never registered. I mean, looking back now, when I watched Little House on the Prairie, there were patchwork quilts there, but I never figured that out. I had taken 2 pieces of fabric, seamed down the middle, tied them with the big quilt lofty stuff, and then made a matching valance for my home. But I never seen it cut up like a puzzle. And that so intrigued me. And she's like, you need to go to the quilt shop. I'm like, there's a quilt shop? And she's like, yeah. So this was on a Saturday. I was there on Monday, signed up for the rotary cutter class to make the checkerboard quilt. And I left that class with a pattern. And then when I came back, I don't know, I can't remember. It's, 25, 30 years ago already. 97, I think, 96, I think. I came back with a totally different quilt that didn't look anything like the pattern. And I'm like, hey, what do you think of this? Is this okay? And they're like, do you want to work here?
That worked out.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, but they were pretty, and they're like, oh, well, how did you know how to do that? And I'm like, well, I didn't want mine to look like anybody else's. So I didn't know there were all these rules.
Good.
So when you don't know that there's rules, you're just free to do whatever.
Yeah. So you went from 0 to 100,
Yeah.
got an A+ on your first
Well,
outing.
I just was like totally in love. Like all the bells and whistles and lights were on and off. It's just like, I was just.
Did you have a job at the time?
Oh, yeah.
What were you doing, girl?
Yeah, I was working 12-hour swing shift in a paper mill. So I was a single mother at the time. And it was kind of fun because once you know about the quilt shop, then they tell you all the other things like, oh, you need to come to quilt camp with us, and you need to do this, and you need to do that. And, before you know it, 6 months in, I'm teaching a class, so I had to figure out how to make a pattern. And I had to, I got into the wool really quickly. So I just dove right in. And that was in, like I said, 1996. And by 2000, I was already like publishing books and going to a quilt market. So it happened really fast.
Delina has a question she wants to ask
So
too.
let's squint.
You got to talk loud.
Okay, so let's go back a little bit before we
Okay.
get to the quilt market and writing books.
Yeah.
Talk about the journey from that first quilt to entering into Paducah and what happens with your first quilt at Paducah.
Oh, okay. So, like I said, once you get in, you dive in, right? Then you go to the Quilt Guild. And then once you're in the Quilt Guild, and then they're all talking about, oh, we have to go to Paducah, or oh, you have to be a part of this small sewing group. So we had a really cool speaker one night, or not a speaker. It was like everybody got up and talked about their sewing groups. And I'm like, I want a sewing group, right? Like, because I was like 28 or 29 at the time. So I was fairly young, but I also was not looking, and I have kind of said this before, like I was looking for something else other than, trying to find a boyfriend and get married again. I was totally fine hanging out with the quilters, right? So when they told me about, quilt camp and all these things, and then the next thing was, oh, we have to go to Paducah. And I'm like, Paducah? What's Paducah? Right? And, quilt shows. Well, so I entered in my guild's quilt show, and I kind of did really well. And I kind of got a blue ribbon, above the reigning queen of applique. So once my quilt beat her, I thought, well, everybody's like, you need to put this in Paducah. You need to put this in Paducah. Cause I had a different look to my stuff. It was pretty, it was pretty primitive. It was pretty drab, but yet still
Muted.
Muted.
It was muted.
Muted.
It wasn't drab.
Drab. I didn't like white. Okay. I didn't want anything to do with white.
No.
So I would take my fabrics and tea dye them down or instant antique them down. So they were all this muted color tone. So what I think the judges liked, it was different than what was out there. So do you remember with Diane Godinsky or any of that? Like she would do that too. She would like have like different color palettes, and that's what spurred the judges. Well, I just soaked it all in. Like when I was part of this guild and I was just learning all these, and somebody would call me at the last minute and say, hey, there's this class open up. Do you want to take it? And I'd be like, sure, and it was just, this guild was just so awesome,
So her enthusiasm.
So then,
Yeah.
So then they're like,
Yeah.
oh, you got to enter this in Paducah. And it got entered in Paducah. And but the first time I went to Paducah with my sewing group, I was looking at all these quilts and I was just like, holy crap. Right.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, I don't do 10,000 crystals or anything like that. But I thought, what can I do to make my quilts different? And one of the quilts that I did is I just like quilted the crap out of it. And it was hand quilted. It's hanging in the gathering right now. And about every 1/4 inch, I quilted it. And so it got into Paducah. So that's how I got into Paducah, just because, again, I think it was different and nothing spectacular, real simple applique. I think I was the only quilt in the show in Paducah that had homespun, because everything else is batik and, really, high end,
Very different.
fancy stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're up to, you've gone to Paducah, you've seen it, you've won.
No, I didn't win.
Did you ever win? Second year?
Well, yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Back up. So getting into Paducah is winning. All right.
Getting in is
winning. So
Okay.
if your quilt makes it to Paducah, to me, you won. Okay. Let's just put that out there.
All right.
Because it's juried. They
Yeah.
don't just accept everybody. And it's like the shrine, right? If you make it in Paducah, that's a great thing. So to me, I won. Just seeing my quilt hung there in Paducah was awesome. But then years later, when Linda Hershka entered, because she was young quilter,
Yes.
needing her accolades. So she
Yes.
took one of my quilts, quilted it so beautifully, entered it in Paducah, and we did win. I think we won twice. We won 3 ribbons total, 2 blues and a first loser. Second.
Oh, well. Darn it.
First
Oh, my
loser.
gosh. All right. So from Paducah, then, we're up to date on Paducah.
Uh-huh.
Is Nick in the picture yet?
Oh yeah, Nick's in the picture. So Nick and I got married in 1998.
Okay, so,
So,
he's definitely
yeah, so
in
he
the
was a big
picture.
part of it because when I first started off 1996-ish, it was just me. But then when Nick came along, he was like, hey, go do your quilty thing, I'll do the dishes. Or hey, go do your quilty thing, I'll take the kids to practice. So he really encouraged me. And when you have that type of person behind you, allowing you, I say allowing, loosely,
Different
but
time.
yeah, but it really makes a big difference if you have somebody behind you.
It does.
Yeah.
You had a lot of support.
Yeah. And
Your family.
I think he knew
everything.
better with my track record of not ever telling me no.
Well, you worked together, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So you had a little history at the paper mill.
Oh yeah.
He kind of knew what a spunky girl you were.
Oh, I think that's what I think the first time he met me, he told his buddy that he was going to marry me.
Okay. That's a smart man. That's what that is.
We'll let him tell that sometime.
Okay, we will. Now, from there, you got a quilt store in Menasha. What was the motivating factor, hon? What
Okay.
got you?
So
to
we're gonna
take that
we're gonna fast forward.
leap?
So I was really not far because in 2003 September, 20 years ago in September, my dad passed away. And to me, that was just like, that had a really profound effect on me. Like, I thought my dad was only 69 years old. He painted cars for a living. He had COPD for about 10 years. So it was really, hard to watch because my dad wasn't my dad at the end. But it really taught me something that, life is too short not to do something you love. So I decided when he passed away that I was going to open my own quilt store. So yeah. So I went from working 12-hour swing shift and then working part-time in a quilt store, and then decided that I'm going to just do this. And I thought, what's the worst thing that can happen is I have to go get a job, right? But I'm a hard worker, so I wasn't worried. And granted, I didn't go in this blindly because I was working for the quilt shop for about 6 years, I think, and I knew my stuff was good. I knew that my stuff was selling. I knew we've gone to shows and my stuff was out there and people liked it. So it wasn't like a leap blind of faith. I mean, it is because I never ran a business before, but I knew my product was good.
So at this point in time, you've got your store in Menasha, and then people like Delina and I would like to get to know you too.
Mm-hmm.
So she was traveling. You were on the road all the time.
All the time.
You were traveling, teaching, bringing your show to us.
Yep.
You came to a guild in Southern California,
Yeah.
Newport Beach, the
Okay.
Bluffs.
Yeah.
That is, I believe, the first time I met
I've been
you.
a lot of places in California, so
Yeah.
it's kind of all a blur, but
I'm sure it is. But you did the geraniums candle mat
in that one courtyard.
Yes,
Yeah.
at
Okay.
Newport Bluffs. It was
Yeah.
beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
So there we are. And I'm just so impressed by the ability. You're a great teacher. You really make everybody feel at ease and comfortable. It was a
I'm
nice
just like everybody
group of
else,
Well,
right?
you are. And I think that's part of your whole
Yeah.
appeal to all of us is we feel like you're one of us.
Yeah, I am.
You really
I want to be
are.
one of you guys.
You really are.
Yeah.
So from there, at that particular point in time, you had mentioned that you were thinking about doing a retreat house in Menasha.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And of course, all of us were so in love with the whole Lisa package. We wanted to get there. And sure enough, did we ever? Yes, we got there.
So that was about 2010.
Okay, so by 2010.
Yeah, by 2010, I was thinking, and I don't know if it's just the way I'm wired that I always have to do what's next? What's next? So, because I have this beautiful store, I have this beautiful staff, everything's going well. They are running it while I'm running across the country, doing shows, doing teaching
Exhibiting,
guilds.
How many days a year were you on the road?
It was crazy. It really
Hundreds.
was. Yeah. Like I would be gone 2 and 3 times a month to different spots.
Yeah.
And it just was, it was a lot, but it got me out there. It got people to know me, to trust my product. And I wouldn't take it back for the world. I met so many wonderful people.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, and I got to do so many fun things. When we go to California, there was always some place we were going or whatever.
Yes,
I mean, look at that beautiful retreat house at the in Temecula. We've been there, and remember when I taught at the castle? Remember that place?
I
Did you ever get to go to the castle?
I missed the class.
Oh well, I taught there too, but it didn't last very long. I think it went under really quickly, but it was quite the place.
I bet.
Yeah, I wish that could be there, but you know, it was hard. But
Well, okay.
so the retreat house,
yeah.
getting back to the retreat house. So I was at the time we had, I believe we had a warehouse and we had the shop, and I'd always go between the two because they weren't in the same location. And this house went up for sale. I was always watching this house. I'm like, that house right there would make the most beautiful retreat because it was pushed back from the road. It wasn't up near the road like everything else was. It was pushed back. It was almost on an acre lot. It had the
Huge
big circle
circular
driveway. And when it went up for sale, I thought, I'm going to go check that place out. Well, here it was on, what do you call that? Foreclosure.
Yeah.
So I thought, well, the only way I'm going to get this is if I pay cash for it. So I made them an offer and they took it.
Good deal.
Yeah. So we bought it in 2010. We were up and running in January of 2011. It was beautiful. It was so fun. You got to stay there. It was so awesome. But I really got to spend more time with people then because they were coming in.
Okay. So a lot of those evenings you might come over. She would have worked all day. She's not exactly doesn't have anything to do, but you'd come over and sit with us and sew.
Well, but
in
you
the
guys are so
evening.
awesome. You know what I mean? And that's, to me, the best part about quilting is the relationships. And now I know Delena's mad at me because I forgot her name at the last minute here, but
Still pouting on the side.
yes, yes. I'm like, and I just was talking to Joyce, and Deleska was over there. So that's like, I knew it's not Deleska. I'm like, what is it? But anyway, I don't forgive myself. So that, to me, the best part of quilting is the relationships and the socialization. And to me, those friendships will outlast. I mean, because sometimes we don't talk for 6 months, a year, whatever.
I don't think we've spoken in a year. It's been
Because I didn't know. Yes,
It's been kind of busy.
Yeah, it is. But it doesn't matter, does it?
No,
No,
I
because we
just
can just
saw you
pick
the
it
other
up.
day, didn't
Yeah.
I?
Yeah.
Yeah. But here's the thing. You had guts. You were not necessarily trained in
No,
business,
no.
entrepreneurship, skips. You took so many risks, Lisa.
Mhm.
And so many people, especially women, are really afraid of that first step. And I know it's kind of sexist to say, especially women, but in the era, it
Mhm.
was.
Yeah,
That's a
back
true statement.
10, 20 years ago. Yeah.
So what you did is it was a gamble. It was risky and gutsy.
See,
and
but
we're
I
so
don't-
glad you did
but-
it.
You know what? I mean, I knew it was brave, or I knew I was stepping, whatever. But to me, if it wasn't scary, then it wouldn't have been worth it, right?
Okay. You're a
You know what
thrill
I mean?
seeker.
Yeah, like I'm a
She's
daredevil.
a true entrepreneur.
Yeah, like to me, if it,
She's a
I
gambler.
truly believe that,
Right.
if your dreams aren't scary, they're not big enough, right? Because
I don't know where you got that or what gift
I don't
was
know.
placed.
I've always been that way.
so
I've always been that way.
that is a pretty special thing,
Mhm.
I guess, is what I'm trying to tell you about
Yeah.
your personality. So next thing we know, Lisa is in Temecula. We're all together at that three-way long French word.
Yeah.
We called it the nunnery for short.
The
I know
nunnery.
it's probably
Yeah, we can't
inappropriate.
pronounce it. I don't think anybody can pronounce it.
But
Lacona,
in
Vivina,
Temecula-
whatever.
And Lisa asked a
The
question.
nunnery.
The nunnery.
Shirley Merch was there. We
Mama
had a-
Shirley, I miss you.
We do.
know.
She's with her people.
Family.
Yeah, in Seminole, Oklahoma,
Yeah.
at a Choctaw event.
Awesome.
She doesn't mess around.
No.
But
That
anyway.
woman don't let any dust grow on her windshield either, does she?
No, but we're all sitting around being kind of ornery, and you just randomly lay down a piece of paper. So
And
I
it-
got an
and it-
idea I want to
it-
run by you.
In a big green binder.
I
Like,
don't
it's
remember
not-
this.
It's not just one thing.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
like there's pictures and drawings and speculation.
what is it?
It's all
It's here.
about
It's the
the
gathering.
gathering.
Okay.
And she asked us, what do you think? Should I do it? Now, we had been to the gathering. We'd been to Menasha, the old one.
Mhm.
We knew that you had a warehouse
So
way
this was
over
even,
here.
This was even before the California store too.
Oh, yeah, before California.
Yeah.
You had your warehouse across town. You had your studio down the hall. You had the store way across You were running in circles all
Oh,
day
yeah.
long, just driving around in circles.
Yeah.
But you knew that the gathering was a hit, that people loved to come and work together and learn their skills. And you took it to the next level. But when you asked us about it, we all were, oh, Lisa.
It was like,
whoa,
yes.
wow. Are you crazy, girl?
Yeah. It was like, yes, but I'm so scared.
And then it was again, she reiterates to us, I think we can do it.
I think we can. Yeah.
And look at what you did.
Oh.
So I know you probably talk about the gathering a lot.
I do. I love the gathering.
But this is my 4th time.
Mm.
This is your third time. I mean, my 3rd time here, plus the old one. I call
Okay.
it 4.
4. Okay. In Wisconsin.
But 3 here. And what a wonderful experience. I've met so many women that aren't with my little group of 10 or however many of us there are, and learned so much. Getting to see you is so fun. That's special. But what you've designed here is incredible. Getting a tour of your facility, seeing everything under one roof.
And I show you everything too.
You
don't
do.
Yeah.
Showing us how it all came together, the
Mhm.
complete fruition,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mhm.
You are the real deal.
Oh, wow.
And you have a lot of fans out there. You just have to remember that we are your number one
Aw.
fan because you,
Well, because I can't do this without y'all. You know that.
give us inspiration. You help us have purpose. You help us remember that there's all kinds of new lines and fabrics
Oh, yeah,
and
there's all
ways
kinds of
and
trouble we can get
methods.
into.
But of everything you've got, you are a hustler.
Oh, I am. Yeah.
You are a hustler, and
Gotta
she
keep
will
all the
tell
balls in the air.
anybody in the business.
Yeah.
What's your advice to anybody thinking about going into business?
Opening a quilt shop.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, the first thing I say is, if a 14 to 16 hour workday scares you, then don't do it, because
do
that's
it.
what you're going to do. But you got to remember, half of those hours are doing something you really, 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 really love. And that's stitching. You need to create samples. And I spend a lot of time doing that. But if, like your shop owner, being a shop owner is one of the hardest things there is as far as a business, like when you think of women in business and stuff like that, because we can't just buy our product and put it on the shelf. You do have to put a lot of time, planning, organization, how many kits we're going to make, all that kind of stuff. Who's going to make the sample, all that kind of stuff before you can put it up for sale. So there's all kinds of stuff going on before, we can't just buy a pumpkin and put it on the shelf and sell it. We have to get that fabric, and we have to make it, get it quilted, get it bound, make a pattern or order the patterns before it can be for sale.
So I'm going to go out on a limb here and say 90% of women or men that own a quilt shop are going to say they don't have time to quilt. They don't have time to quilt. They're too busy. They don't have time to quilt. I applaud you for keeping time in your schedule to quilt. But we understand a lot of it is for us.
Yeah. Well,
Thank you.
Well, to me, why would I give the best part away? I can give away signing the checks and like when they want to talk to me about, the numbers and the margin. And I'm just like, do we have to talk about this right now? Because I don't really care. I really don't. As long as we can pay our bills and we can keep the lights on and keep the employees paid and, do some fun stuff. That's all I really care about. I'm not here to make millions of dollars for myself. I really ain't. Because if that was the case, I would have just, sailed away on the lake.
Driven away.
And I would have
into
been,
the
but I wouldn't have
sunset.
been happy. And I would have been like, yeah, this is a really cool quilt that I made. I wish I could, I can't share it with anybody or nobody, you know what I mean? So I really love what I do. And I want to keep putting that stuff out there in the world for people. And the best thing about mine was when I do something and somebody enters it in the quilt show or the fair and they win a blue ribbon, that makes me so happy that it's almost like I won the ribbon. Okay.
I need to tell you, I got a ribbon
You
2
did?
years ago
Yes.
in the Clay County Fair.
Awesome. What was the
That counts, right?
What was the the pattern?
I made it myself.
Oh, good job.
I'll show it later. You'll be
Awesome.
very proud of me.
You
will?
She just had Live a Thankful Life quilted downstairs by the guys.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
They did a fabulous job.
They did.
I
You got that
can't-
binding on already?
Oh yeah. Yeah. I'm gonna go buy it first and then I'm gonna put it on. Yeah. But
Oh.
the other thing that's really kind of cool about Lisa is her relationship with her employees. She knows
I try.
it's a hard thing.
It
You
is a
can't
hard
be
thing.
absolutely.
Especially when there's 47 now.
we're getting up there.
Yeah.
We're really climbing.
Yeah. Yeah.
But at the same time, this is a family. It shows, and some are real family, but some are
Better than
extended
family.
and
Yeah.
some are way better than family.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
It is. It is fun to have employees that hang around for a long time. It really does. That they really mean a lot to me, and I really appreciate, because to me, this is Primitive Gatherings is all of us, not just me. And I couldn't do it without them. And I always tell people it takes a small army to make this thing work. I'm not shipping your stuff. I'm not doing all the work behind the scenes like Jess has to do to get all that stuff ready to do comments sold twice a week or 3 times sometimes.
Yeah.
I mean, I couldn't do it really. I mean, so it's wonderful to have people that are, they have to do that day in, day out stuff, and they're still excited about it because of what we're selling and the product and who we're touching and, who we're reaching, because we all know that not everybody loves everything we do, but so that's why we have to do variety and sometimes order things that maybe I don't like, but we know somebody will.
So as if you don't have enough to
Is she
do,
going like this yet?
she's Jess is kind of nodding off, but she's back. She came back. No, one of the things somebody downstairs has said, is Lisa ever going to write a book? And I said, I don't think she has time, but I'll check with her. No. Okay.
It would
Your
be boring.
story is not boring. And I study entrepreneurship. It's what I taught. It was my background. You really are a model.
Mhm.
Now, why do I say that? You have not been formally trained, but what you've done is created this channel of integration that you have A to Z under these two.
Well, and it's one of those things where you have to continually learn because everything is changing, especially now with the marketing and all the stuff, all the different ways to reach people. And this morning I was listening to chat funnels. Okay? Chat funnels.
That sounds fun.
Anybody know what a chat funnel is? Let me see. So you want to know what a chat funnel is?
What is it?
It's when you're like, say you're on Instagram and they say, hey, if you really want to know about X, Y, and Z, DM me with the word
a keyword or something.
Yeah, or star. And when that gets put in, there's like this automation that sends you this, and this, and all these funnels to the website, to this, but it's all automatic. Like there's not a person doing it, but it's all set up behind the scenes.
Jess is starting to hold her head.
Yeah, right, Jess? I mean,
like, oh God, not that now.
Yeah, if anybody wants to join our team, who knows anything about some of that stuff, oh my gosh.
So what she's done with social media is the next thing.
Oh,
so
we're
Stitch, 25,000 members. Come on.
That's nice, yeah.
That's pretty incredible.
I think we're close to 30 on something coming up too. I don't know the YouTube.
30 on YouTube. We're past 30.
We're past 30 on YouTube. So we have to do
subscribers
on YouTube.
That's fabulous.
See, and I was never going to do YouTube. Never. I'm like, no, that ain't me. I never wanted to be in front of a camera, right? Because I come from this small town where we talk funny. Everybody thinks we talk funny, right?
Well, you do.
I know, but
yeah,
I just got over the fact because, when COVID hit and I have a payroll of, I think at the time it was like 25 people, but that's 25 people I'm responsible for. And I can't go to shows and I can't do this and I can't do that. How am I going to reach all these people? Well, now's the time we have to do YouTube. So I just sucked it up and I did it. And it after a while, you realize it's not about me. It's about this. And it's about what we can teach you and how we can serve our customers and what we can get them just because it's for our sanity. Could you imagine what COVID would have been like if we couldn't stitch? Like, what if that, I mean, it probably saved us all. Like, I just got goosebumps, you know what I mean? Just thinking about what that did for us during that time that we were able to stitch. And so even if we were making masks to feel part of something that, because we were all scared, the crap was scared out of us. I mean, I remember thinking, can I touch this gas pump handle? You might.
Yes, everything.
Well,
I'm in a bubble.
And think about the people that have found you that are in little towns
that don't have a quilt shop.
that don't have a quilt shop
Yes.
that now have an outlet
Mhm.
to make beautiful things
And-
and, see beautiful
And
things.
one of the
and be
things, one of the
inspired.
things I think that's really hard is that not everybody's tech savvy, right? We know, with websites
Yeah.
changing and all that, but if you are stuck and you can't figure something out, just call us. My girls downstairs are amazing and they will help you, right? They'll figure it out. They'll get you what you need. They'll, if you need 12 blue fat quarters and you don't know how to get 12 blue fat quarters, they can do that for you. Just all those little things that you wouldn't know how to do if you didn't have somebody to go to and say, hey, can you help me with this? I need this, this, and this. But you can't really find it on a website. Do you know what I
No,
mean?
that's true. You
So
gotta be in
there's
person.
those,
Right,
there's
right.
always those little things that I get lots of comments about. Oh, Roz is so awesome. She helped me do this, this, and this. Or Joanne is like a saint. She sat there and listened to me for 3 different times. I had to call her back, and she never once was like, But that customer service is a gift. All right, you will not find Lisa Bongean in customer service. I can't do it. I'm sorry. You got to know what you're good at. And I am not good at that. All right. I'd be like, Jess, remember that one question we had? How big is a 10.5-inch square? How big is a 10.5-inch square?
Yeah, that would have been a tough question to
Yeah.
field. That would have been hard. Yeah.
It was
that
really
would have been
easy,
hard.
but yet we
You
were
just
like,
couldn't relax enough to say, review.
yes.
Yeah.
So,
But your
We all have
customers love you. They
Oh.
appreciate you. They look forward to being able to see you, be able to connect with you. This
and that's
is a
why I want
very
to stay home.
personal method.
I don't want to be gone from here. So I get requests all the time. Can you come to my guild? Can you do this? Can you do that? And it's very hard to say no because you don't want to be the bad person. You don't want to be like, no, I can't go. But I built this so I can be here for my people, so I can be here for my family and my grandsons and all that kind of stuff. But at the same time, I feel a little bit of guilt that I don't go out there in the world. And when I do, it's very rare, like maybe 1 or 2 times.
Bernina University,
Yeah, I went to.
Wisconsin.
Yeah, the quilt show. Yeah, and then I think I'm going to teach a Mackinac in May next year. I said yes. Carmen from Cousins Quilt Shop asked me, and I just love all those people. So I just want to be a part of it. I don't want to miss out, just like you don't sometimes, right? So sometimes you got to do that. But then I feel bad when I'm not here when somebody comes. Like I wasn't here when you were here last year.
I wasn't going to mention it.
Well, I'll bring it up.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I was in
Yeah.
Hawaii when these girls were here last year.
Well, and we knew part of the reason was that Lisa was doing this was so she could be here. But in all fairness, the year before when we made our reservation, you said, I'm not going to be here.
Yeah.
So it wasn't as if we were
Yeah.
surprised.
Yeah.
And it just worked out time-wise.
Yeah.
But anyway, I think there's somebody on this show that's got the ability to write your story. And it needs to be on paper because it's a lot of
I don't
lessons.
know. It's kind of weird story, but
It's good.
yeah.
Good job with Bernina. Bringing in your Bernina dealership.
Yep.
Good job.
Well, I'm pretty smart when
Print
it comes
shop.
to who to hook up with.
You really are.
Well, and I want to say too that, I mean, like I said, I didn't grow this by myself. I mean, when you have partners like Moda and Martingale and Creative Grids, all that helps you get bigger, get better, all that kind of stuff. And when they, American Patchwork and Quilting, I mean, when our shop was featured in there in 2006, it just took us just like almost like overnight in 1 month's time, we just, quadrupled our business because of one little article in a magazine.
Yeah. It was worthy
So
of that. You were ready for that attention.
yeah.
I am going to say I happened to be at an international quilt festival one time. So we'll wrap it up now because the time's almost up.
Okay.
I'm just letting you know. I didn't mean to hijack the show.
No,
really.
that's okay. I asked them, like, hey, anybody want to come on live? And they're like, yeah, we'll come on. Or you said, you want me to just read what you said?
Yeah.
Yeah, you
Go
said when I texted you, and I didn't give them very much time. I'm like, hey, where are you?
The answer was hell yes.
Hell yeah,
I'll be there.
I'll be there.
Yeah.
No, right here. Yeah, it was hell yes, I will.
Of course I will.
I knew
Of course.
Tracy was not shy at all.
All right. We're
All
leaving.
right.
We're leaving. I can't think of a thing. Can you
Anything
think of anything
else?
else?
I
I
gotta-
just want to say happy anniversary.
Yes,
Like,
we're okay. Well, let's just talk a little bit about the anniversary.
Yeah.
Okay, so because I mean, I hope that wasn't too whatever for you, but we do have specials all this month for our anniversary, and they will kick off on Mondays. And Jessica had 20% off wool. Was it wool cuts, wool, anything wool?
Wool yardage, wool charms, and wool bundles.
Okay, those were all 20% off. So each Monday, she will introduce a new category of things that will be on sale for you. So please take advantage of that, because we don't always do that very often to give you full reign on a whole product category to buy whatever you want. And then, so we have that going on. We'll have this next week nailed down and ready for you to purchase that. We are going to give this pattern away with a purchase. So you will get the pattern free download with a purchase. So just letting you know that that's going to happen, because that's my thank you for 20 fabulous years, because you guys built this. I mean, you give me all the credit, but
Yeah, I'll
without,
take a little. Go
yeah,
ahead.
without,
got it.
without you guys, this would not have happened. So I have to reward you when I can. And I just
Thank you.
I
We
just
appreciate it. Don't we?
think the world of all of you. And I try to treat people like I want to be treated. So hopefully we need to have cake too.
For the party?
Okay.
Okay.
We need to have cake.
All right.
I'm just gonna say I like cake, right? From Vanderwell's 20th anniversary cake.
When do you want that?
I don't know. We'll talk about it later.
Okay. I'm
Okay.
on vacation soon.
You're on vacation?
We'll get the order in.
It's a whole month. Maybe before I go to Houston. Okay. So here's a couple questions. First pattern you did. Do you still have your first quilt? I do have my first quilt. I made it, it's blue and white. I'll bring it on here one of these days. That's good. The first pattern I did.
Was it
I
the
think it's the
garden
first
one?
pattern you made.
What's the number?
Yeah.
What's number one? What is number one downstairs in the bin?
Or was that first pattern I created or
Yeah.
first pattern
Yeah.
I made?
First pattern
So the
you
first
made.
pattern I made that was actually a quilt, because Amy might have some, what does she call them? What does she call that when you hold it over somebody's head, like you actually made this, like funny, you know what I mean? Anyway, so I do have some, because remember I didn't know there were rules. I didn't know you weren't supposed to put batting this thick in a little wall hanging, and it was like it was a wreath of Christmas fabric or something like that, and it had this puff bow on it. It was hideous, but anyway, so
We've all made
I'll
one.
bring on the
We've all
first
done
quilt
it.
I made. The first quilt I made, and let me tell you, I was a hand quilter, and I didn't really know how to do that, but I did it, and it's a pretty quilt. I still have it. It's at home. It's beautiful. I love it, and I finished it when my dad was in the hospital too. So on one of his episodes. So I call it Dad's Stars. Is this lady that taught you still around? Did you ever meet again?
The lady from
YMCA
the
lady.
pool.
Oh, I don't know who she was.
Oh
No, I don't know who she was. But I did have,
what she did.
when I was
I know,
first
right?
started
The
off,
monster she created.
there was I noticed there was this grandmotherly type lady in my guild, and she was just the sweetest thing. And I went up to her and I asked her if we could hang out. Her name was Margaret, and Margaret and I hung out a good 10 years or so, probably even more than that. But she was awesome, and she just treated me like I was one of her family. It was amazing. And we actually did one of the guild's raffle quilts one time too. So I just latched onto her I just treated her like she was my grandma. So sometimes if you don't have what you need, you go and find it and adopt.
Yeah.
That's what I did.
Yeah, you do.
Okay. What paper mill? I worked at Appleton Papers or Appleton Coated in Combine Locks, Wisconsin. So we made a lot of high-end magazine paper. When I first started, we made a lot of 3-part forms, like NC. Remember that 3-part
Yeah.
form? Yeah, we did a lot of that. But that's where on the night shift, that's where I got a lot of, stuff done that might not have been work related.
Yeah.
The statute,
Say that now. It's day.
the statute of limitations.
It's
have
over.
expired.
You're
Yeah, yeah. My bosses come and visit me now.
I bet.
Yeah, they do. So one was here the other day, and he's just like, "Dang it, girl! I thought you were crazy when you quit."
I bet.
His wife comes here and spends all his money.
Oh, I bet he hates that. Yeah.
No,
Full
he's a
circle.
good sport about it.
Good.
Okay, I explained the quilt behind me, right? All right, so Jess has more numbers available. October 12th, $50 purchase. You're going to get this download. If you don't want to spend $50, I believe it's going to be a $15 pattern. The quilt kit, the 21, are going to be $250. So we're going to try to figure out how 21 of you are going to get this quilt kit, and what we're going to be doing for the rest of you who don't get this. So we'll figure that all out in the next couple days here for you. But that's going to be my anniversary gift to you. If you purchase, you're going to get that pattern, and it's pretty spectacular. I think this could win some awards. Matter of fact, we entered it in Road to California.
Yay!
So hopefully it will make it. I want Alicia. Alicia has entered it in there, and we'll see what happens. So maybe you'll see this in California if you're from California. Okay. Matter of fact, we were talking on the phone, and I said, she's like, you think we should enter that in a quilt show? I'm like, I don't know. When's Road to California? She goes, I said, look up the deadline for Road to California. She goes, October 2nd. It was like September 30th.
You got it in,
I was like, oh, hang on. I'll put the binding on this weekend.
and you got it in.
Yeah, we got
Good.
it in.
Good.
On the
How she
second.
rolls.
On the second.
Of course.
Yeah, yeah. All right. Any other questions on anything? Anybody have anything? Happy anniversary. Amazing. I agree. Okay. Yeah. Funny. Okay.
We got prizes.
I got some prizes for you. Heidi's always got prizes for us all. So thank you, Elena,
So happy.
Tracy,
So happy.
Thank
Thank
you
you
for
for
coming.
inviting us.
making it interesting, right? Instead of me
Well,
trying to
we're
just be
kinda
up
boring.
here and blah, 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 blah.
I thought people would want to know a little bit about you,
Okay.
a little bit more about your history.
Yeah.
Okay.
Colette Yeager, Suzanne Rogers, and Peg Eusted. You are today's winners. Thanks for joining us, and hang out for comments sold. We will be back in about 15 minutes, and we'll try to sell you some stuff. What do you got for us today?
I got more about Tilda and Tilda.
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 Does anybody know what Tilda is?
Tilda.
Come and find out what Tilda is. All right. Bye, everyone.